management, and advertisers.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining us. Oh, yeah. A lot to get to today. Thanks for being here. You could be watching on the Occupy Democrats Network, the Washington Press Network. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitch. We're on Elon Musk's X, which is in the news today. We're definitely going to get to that. Ron Filipkowski is going to be joining us from Midas Touch coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Nicole Mitchell in hour number 2. But listen, when the president-elect tells me that the only time he can do the show is right off the top of the hour, I don't make him wait. So I'm not going to waste any time here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to mess around. We're talking about the 45th president of the United States and, of course, the president-elect who will be in office January 20th. We're very fortunate to have him joining us on the show right now, President Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for being so gracious with your time and joining us again. How are you doing today, sir?
Thank you. Well, I just finished up my language. I'm learning how to speak Denmark.
Oh.
I'm learning how to speak Denmark because we're going to be getting Greenland very, very soon. Very soon, all of Greenland is filled with groceries, and we're going to get those groceries, and we're going to distribute them to the American people who are working so hard. And then we're going to be down at the Panama Canal telling El Guapo that's ours. That's ours. That's the American canal. And of course, our wonderful Governor Trudeau, is doing such a great job with Canada. By the way, you'll appreciate this, Brian. What is a Canadian? What is a Canadian? It's an unarmed American with a crappy healthcare system and a pension to say, I'm sorry and thank you. We're going to take care of those people.
Mr. President, I think a lot of Canadians out there would not consider themselves Americans. They might find that a little bit offensive, no?
Oh, really? Really, Brian? So why do they keep coming here? Why do they keep coming to Las Vegas? Why do they keep coming to Las Vegas? They think they're Americans. And we're going to make them Americans. We are going to make Canadians great again. It's Maga.
Mr. President, so by your standard, if you eat Chinese food, does that make you Chinese?
For those 2 hours afterwards, absolutely.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Hey, Mr. President, I have to ask you about the big news that we're talking about today, this tech bro visa controversy. Did Elon Musk ever talk to you about this? Does he need these immigrants? And it seems like your MAGA base going after Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. It's a whole controversy here. And then Elon Musk is now...
No, it's not, listen. It's not a controversy. You people are making it a controversy. You know, we have smart people here in the U.S., and I told Leon, I said to him, get our people first, and then if you have to go to Bombay or Singapore, then do that. But, you know, Elon's his own person. He's his own person, and he's very rich. Did I mention he's rich? He's very, very rich.
He is.
So he's okay by me. He's okay by me. You know, Melania's here on a H1216972 visa. So, you know, I can't complain too much because she's a genius. She speaks 5 languages. Unfortunately, none of them are English. But that's okay. Okay.
Did you buy some of her $90 Christmas ornaments?
No, I don't have to do that. She gave those to me. That was my gift. That was my Christmas gift. Just what I need. Effing ornaments. You know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Interesting.
Unbelievable.
So, Mr. President, we haven't talked to you in a little bit. ABC paid you off $15 million because George...
Can you believe how quickly they folded?
Yeah.
As soon as they did that, I sued 10 other people. I'm suing teeny tiny papers in the Midwest. I'm suing all of these stupid posters who got it wrong. I'm suing influencers like that guy who does Trump in Las Vegas. You know who I'm talking about. It's over for him.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know, Mr. President. So are you excited? I mean, give me Tell me how you're feeling right now. You're going to be back in office in give or take about 3 weeks or so.
Back in office. Excuse me, Brian.
Yeah.
I am back in office.
Oh,
The
okay.
economy's doing great. Everyone's saying Merry Christmas. Under Obama and Biden, it was illegal. It was illegal to say Merry Christmas. Did you know that? People went to jail.
But
now you'll go to jail if you don't say Merry Christmas.
But Mr. President, with all due respect, you're not back in office yet. Joe Biden is still the president, isn't he?
But it seems like I'm back in office. Everyone wants an interview. I'm pretty sure I'm back in office.
All right.
This whole thing, this January 20th, is just a formality. And by the way, I want to make a message to anyone who will be in Washington, D.C. on January 20th. If you are a Democrat and you are not out of Washington by 12 midnight on the 19th, you will be arrested and sent to our camps. We have camps that we're setting up.
Oh, wow. I was unaware of that.
Places, yes, there are places where you can go and think, where you can concentrate on why you're not a MAGA Republican. They're wonderful camps.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. I have to ask you this, Mr. President, okay? There are a lot of people that are calling, as you called him, Leon Musk. His name's Elon Musk. But a lot of but a lot of people are
I jabbed him. That's a jab. That's a jab. He hates when I do that.
Yeah, I know.
I love his money.
But when
I love his money.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you? But people are calling him President Musk. That sounds like that bothers you, Mr. President, because you brought it up.
No. I mentioned it because I knew that you knew that I knew that it didn't bother me because people. Listen. I know all of you left-wing, liberal, radical, communist, socialist. Fascistic fish sticks, you all get together on a weekly Zoom call and say, what's going to bother Trump? What's going to bother Trump? And I know you did, that everybody does it. You do it. Midas Touch does it. David Pacman does it. You guys all do it. And then you think it's going to bother. It doesn't bother me. He's not the president. He's not the president. I'm the president. I'm the president. I won. He didn't win.
That's true. But isn't he in your ear? Don't you value his opinion, or do you not?
I do, and that stupid accent. What is it? Is it Australian? It seems to me like English, Australian, a little bit of French, a little bit of Belgium. I think it's a put on.
All right.
To tell you the truth.
Well, let's try
I think the whole thing's a put on.
Mr. President, and if you're just joining us, he's Donald J. Trump, the president, joining us on the line. We're very fortunate to have him. Let's try to be positive here. You put in your Christmas messages, you attack the radical left. A lot of people are very upset at you.
Losers and haters.
Yeah, I know, but
the suckers.
Well, no, you're talking about the military when you talk about suckers, right, Mr. President?
Well, it could be.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, what are you doing for the holidays? Let's try to be positive here, Mr. President.
I'm working to make America great again. It's Maga Gaga. It's Maga Gaga 24/7. We are going to get money from all of these countries who've been cheap to us, like Panama. We're getting them. They're shaking us down, Brian. They're shaking us down, and I'm going to get a little myself. I'm going to put it on the side, you know what I mean? Because, so many people are getting rich, but I'm not getting rich. But this time I'm going to get rich. And we're not going to have any of these stupid people. They said there were no adults in the room this time. And that's right. There's going to be no adults. We're going to have a great time.
Did you do something with your hair, Mr. President? Some people are speculating you got a haircut. Like, what's going on with that hair?
No, I didn't get a haircut. You think I want to change this brand? It was a hot day at the Mar-a-Lago golf course. I came in, had my womlet, and then I was a little sweaty, and I took my hat off, and I was like, "Oh my God, he cut his hair! Oh, sir, you look fantastic, sir. I'm not changing my hair. Believe me, that's a brand that I'm not going to get rid of."
All right, fair enough. In closing, Mr. President, would you like to give some people out there a Christmas, New Year's greeting on PTL? You have a lot of fans of yours that are listening to the show.
Absolutely. I love PTL. I love the Praise the Lord Network. It was very good with Tammy and Jim Baker. I just want to say that a lot of people are saying it's going to be worse than the last time I was in. And all I can say is it'll be worse for some people, but for everybody else, we are going to get the groceries down. It's a great word, groceries. No one was saying groceries until I started saying groceries. Now everyone's saying groceries. I practically made that word up. But groceries are going to go down. Gas will be like a nickel. Gas will be like a nickel. So people will be traveling to your city, Las Vegas. Things are going to be absolutely fantastic. The next 8 years are going to be incredible. And I did say eight. Because, yes, because the Constitution is not clear. It says consecutive, and I was not in consecutively, so we got a loophole. Wow. And by the way, I got the Supreme Court in my pocket. So we're going to have a tremendous 8 years, and when I'm done, you won't even recognize this country.
I lied. One other question. Who are you endorsing? I know you said 8 years. I think that's debatable. Do you think J.D. Vance could be a great president one day?
No. I know. Don Jr. We got rid of Kimberly Guilfoyle. She's a bad influence. I got 8-year-olds wearing eyeliner, so she's out. But we have a brand new girl who's coming in, and we're going to have a White House wedding. The ratings are going to be through the roof. By the way, mark my words on the wedding. It's going to be, I'm not kidding. We're going to have a White House wedding. There hasn't been one of those since Nixon. And then we are having Putin over within the first 6 to 8 months for a massive state visit. It is going to be incredible. Wow. These are two big things. I'm letting you on. That's a scoop. That's a double scoop.
Wow.
That's a double scoop, which I'm going to have at lunch today.
Very, very, that sounds like a nice double scoop lunch. All right, well, we look forward. Maybe we can get Vladimir Putin on the show with you. That would be...
absolutely. Have Vlad.
Yeah.
And did I hear you say when I was on hold, you're having Ron Filipkowski on?
I am.
Filipkowski. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
I can't believe you're stabbing me in the back. He prints lies all day long. All he does, he's a lie. He makes things up. He just makes things up. Can you believe that?
That's not very nice.
He just makes things up.
That's not very nice. Yeah, Ron's a friend of mine. Mr. President, he criticizes you a lot.
Him and the three stooges over at Midas Touch.
All right. Well, I mean, Ron's going to be joining us in a few minutes here, and Mr. President, it is always a pleasure having you on the show. If you could please,
always, Brian.
If you can please,
you're one of the good ones. And when we send you to the re-education camps, I'm going to make sure you go in a limousine.
Wait, would one of those that's very nice of you. Would the re-education camp be considered Trump University?
No, well, that's coming back too. That's what we're getting rid of the Electoral College, and we're replacing it with Trump University because it's all about popularity, not these stupid electoral votes.
Fair enough. Speaking of popularity, if you could please put your friend on the line, the very funny and talented comic, John DiDomenico. John, you are on fire today, my friend. I heard you've had some...
This is what no sleep does to me. Zero sleep.
Oh, man, I'm dying.
I'm like a pistol.
John, you are... Trump is the gift that keeps on giving, and you are...
Every hour of every day.
Well,
and actually, I'm honored to be on the same show as Ron Filipkowski. Those guys are doing just amazing work. How much content they put out.
I'm gonna cut that clip of you talking smack about Ron Filipkowski, and I'm gonna send it.
And play it for him.
I will, and they are going to love it, and they will probably. They repost some of my stuff, so I'm sure they'll put it on the Midas Touch page.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be great.
Give out that information so that people know how to find you, John, because you are one of the most talented guys in the business.
It's the Johnny D Show on all platforms. Fresh new content on YouTube. I just did the Trump Christmas and New Year's message, and of course Instagram and all those wonderful places. Just the Johnny D Show. Find me there.
John, you are the best, my friend. I hope you and your family have a lovely New Year's and have a great holiday. And we will catch up with you soon, my friend. I love you. You're the best.
All right, see you. Bye.
Thanks, John DiDomenico. That guy is so funny. He is so talented. I'm dying on the air. I'm trying so hard not to laugh, but it is impossible because not only, you see these morons on social media that do these Trump impersonations, and some of the impersonations are pretty good. Like there's one guy named Sean Farish who was an absolute buffoon who blocked me on social media. He's not funny. He does a good impersonation, but he's not a professional comedian. He's not funny. He actually talks serious policy. Like, that's not funny. When I have a Trump impersonator on, or any impersonator, the best ones not only do a spot-on impersonation like John, but they're also funny. These morons on social media that do these Trump impersonations, they're not funny. They actually, they want to be asked serious questions. So anyway, John DiDomenico is the best. Please check him out. He is absolutely hilarious. Speaking of hilarious, we're going to have Ron Filipkowski joining us here in just a few minutes from Midas Touch. Have you heard about this tech bro visa controversy? Well, let's start with Vivek Ramaswamy, who I've always said is a complete snake, who made boatloads of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, selling drugs, many of which don't work to the pharmaceutical companies. And somehow we're supposed to listen to him. He's making the claim that Americans are lazy. Listen, some Americans are lazy. There's no question about that. But he said it publicly out in the open, and he wants people from other countries to be working in his tech companies along with Elon Musk and others. They are hammering Vivek Ramaswamy, calling it Make America India First. And Vivek Ramaswamy calling Americans lazy and saying he wants more migrants coming in here working for him and others in big tech is not a popular opinion for the bigoted MAGA right. So they're going after Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, they're not going after Elon Musk as much, even though Elon Musk has said virtually the exact same things that Vivek Ramaswamy has said, virtually the exact same things. But there are some on social media on the far right that have gone after Elon Musk. Now, they're not threatening him, right? They're not breaking any X violations, but they're criticizing him. Now, I am the last person on the planet that would ever defend Laura Loomer, right? I think she's a disgusting, despicable person inside and out. She's a conspiracy theorist. She's an Islamophobe. She's a bigot in nature. She's horrible. But I can't believe I'm saying this. I am going to defend her here. She has openly criticized Elon Musk on social media in the last 24 hours. She hasn't used vulgarities. She hasn't threatened him. She hasn't broken any X rules that I can see. So what does Elon Musk do with Laura Loomer's account? He does to her what he did to a lot of other MAGAs that have been criticizing him and going after him for this, bro tech visa controversy. He took away a lot of blue check marks from prominent MAGA people that have been criticizing him. And he also suspended some accounts, including Laura Loomer's account. Why is this important? Well, first of all, it shows how petty Elon Musk is. You see, to many of these far-right MAGA Republicans or somebody like an Elon Musk, they talk about free speech 24/7. But if they don't like what somebody is saying, or in this case, if people are criticizing them, then all of a sudden that freedom of speech talk goes away. It's all good and well, freedom of speech, unless it pertains to you and people are saying things about you that you don't like. Elon Musk is a hypocrite, and he's a bad guy. Isn't it interesting how many people on the far right in the last 24 hours have gone after somebody who's brown, Vivek Ramaswamy, but so many, there are some that have criticized Elon, but so many have not gone after Elon Musk. Why is it? Do you think that's just a coincidence? I'm wondering. Maybe, just maybe, it has something to do with color of skin. Just maybe. Now, listen, I could be wrong. But the bottom line here is that it's only freedom of speech if it is something that they agree with. I think we all could probably agree on that, right? And I do find it very interesting that many on the far right, like the Charlie Kirks of the world, have said that college is overrated, right? Don't go to college. But now it seems like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy want Indians to take all of our tech jobs, and they are getting absolutely blasted by the far right. So much so, as I mentioned, that Elon Musk is taking their blue check marks away and suspending some accounts. So to talk to us about this hypocrisy, because they talk about free speech 24/7, it's very interesting, isn't it? What better person to talk about this topic than Ron Filipkowski from Midas Touch? Ron, always a pleasure to have you on, my friend. How are you?
Great. Yeah, I actually woke up this morning and Laura Loomer was texting me that she was suspended by Musk. So I was like, well, what a way to start the day, right?
What else did she say to you? Because I hate to defend her because I you know how I feel about her, right? I don't think she's the nicest, most credible person in the world, but I am defending her here, Ron, because she didn't swear. She didn't threaten Elon Musk. She's doing what anybody does and should have the right to do, and that is criticize somebody. What is she making of all of this?
Yeah. I mean, she thinks it's like, look, she was banned from all social media platforms for 3 years. So she's a little sensitive in this area because this is what she does for a living.
Right.
This is what she does for a job. And so when you get banned off all tech platforms, and look, they had very good reasons for banning her. Okay. I'm not saying I had any issue with it, but when you finally get reinstated by the guy, and then, the first time you criticize him, he suspends you. And worse than that, he suspended her, but that's nothing. What he did is he took away her subscriptions, because people subscribe through X to monetized accounts. She's a monetized account that had a decent number of subscriptions. She's also opted into that where you get paid by the engagement. She does that too. So she's out of that now. Took away her blue check, which also tamps down engagement. So he basically pretty much nuked her, and not just her. It was a lot of people that got it on the right, which shows, now we're just talking about how Musk handled it on social media, not the issue itself. But I think that this one's going to be hard for him to recover from. They won't forget this. And I can tell you, I just watched Steve Bannon's show a little earlier, and the whole show is just flaming Musk. Just everybody, all of his guests are coming on and just trashing Musk one after the other. And these are people with millions of followers,
Ron, he's not even the president yet, and we're already talking about a possible split from Maga. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. But what you're talking about, we're talking about a lot of money. Listen, say what you want about Laura Loomer. She makes a lot of money on social media. Sure. This is a big deal financially for a lot of these people. I'm not saying I feel sorry for her, but what exactly is he? Do you think it was just one of those situations, Ron, where he just spoke to some of the people that work for him that are running X and said, okay, do this, this, and this? Was it that simple for Elon? Is that simple?
Well, because he does it all the time. I mean, he suspends and unsuspends people constantly who make either say something bad about him, criticize Tesla, or post a video of one of his cars crashing or something. He does this all the time, but not like this, where it's 100 people that all have minimum 100,000 followers, some over 1 million, who have been Musk supporters, and just across the board just doing this to him. And she was the only one that was suspended, and he also singled her out and went after her. But here's the point: Laura, everyone in Trump's orbit doesn't want him to have anything to do with Laura Loomer, right? They don't like her. The people around, except for Jason Miller, most of the people around him don't like her and want to keep her away from him. But that is not how Trump feels. Trump has always liked Loomer, and the reason is Loomer is real. Loomer is genuine. Loomer's not a fraud in terms of, she worships the ground he walks on like he's a god. And that's a real thing. She's not BSing like a lot of them. She's not playing games just to get a job or just to grift.
Right.
This is really who she is. Right. So Trump, I think, gets that, and he respects her for that. That in other words, everyone in his orbit all wants something from him, and he gets it, that it's all transactional, but with her, it's not transactional.
I think what you just said, Ron, is 100% accurate. I think of people like Leo Terrell or a Candace Owens or even a Charlie Kirk. I even think some of the things they say, a lot of the things they say are not genuine, and they don't actually believe them. I agree with you on with Laura Loomer when it comes to this. I believe she does worship him, and it's not fake and it's not phony. And I agree with you on that. So we'll have to see how this thing plays out. But you said something interesting on Twitter, because you say a lot of interesting things on Twitter that get me thinking, but there are some people that are going after Elon Musk, like the Laura Loomers. But the overwhelming majority of MAGA, at least in the last 24 hours, have gone after Vivek Ramaswamy. When Elon has basically said, and you said this on Twitter, virtually the exact same thing. Now, talk to me about that.
Well, I think there's two little differences between, but you're right. They have not been happy with Musk. They've certainly criticized Musk, but with Ramaswamy, it's been very vicious and personal. So I think him being Indian is definitely a part of the deal. But he brought that on himself too, because he made that an issue here. Because he took it one step further than Musk. What Musk basically just said is, we don't have enough smart people that want to work 16 hours a day and take shit from me, in this country. And we need more of those people, because the reason why, Ann Coulter hit this nail on the head, which is the reason why these guys want these H-1B visas is because when you come in on those, you're coming in to work for a specific employer. If that employer fires you, you're deported. You're sent back home. So you can come here with your family from India or whatever. Or a lot of these people, they're hoping to stay. They want to marry Americans. They want to have children in the United States. So they're using these visas to come here and stay. And this is why MAGA doesn't want them coming, because they know that. And so Musk basically just said, look, we need more smart. And Coulter points this out, which is, if you're coming on one of these visas and you work for these companies, they own you. And that's what they want. This is why they don't want to hire Americans. It's not because they're not enough smart Americans. What they want is employees who know that if they don't do everything that they're told, they'll deport them. They'll have them deported by firing them. So what Coulter said is, what these guys want is, they don't want employees. They want indentured servants. And she's absolutely right. And this is why MAGA is right on this point, is that, you saying there's not enough qualified Americans is BS. You want Indians because you can work them like dogs and threaten to deport them if they don't go along with the program. And so that's number one. But number two is, Vivek went one step further, is he went after American culture. And what he said was, Americans don't work hard from birth. In high school, that we worship the prom queen and the quarterback, and we screw around too much. We watch too much TV. We have too much fun. We go to the movies too much, and we should be grinding. And he talks about how Asian parents, make their kids stay home and work. They don't let them go out and do all this nonsense and have all this fun. They make sure they study and work hard. And MAGA is just like, what the hell are you talking about, man? That's not the kind of country we want. That's certainly not the MAGA culture. Those guys are all like living out their glory days of their high school football days in their minds, and to have Vivek say, you guys are a bunch of slackers and American culture sucks, so we need to bring in more Indians. Man, that ain't playing, man.
Brutal. And even Scott Jennings, who I rarely agree with on CNN yesterday, said, Ron, that Vivek sounds like the guy who was, put in a locker and the key thrown away. I mean, I don't understand why he would
it's Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Okay, so let's talk about if there's any possible recovery at all, because I'm not sure if there is. And I'm with you. I agree with the MAGA world. Everything you said so eloquently about this is why they want to do this. Can you imagine the advantage you have over an employee compared to an American citizen, that when you have someone from another country and you have such a stronghold on them, maybe if that's the right word, where you can fire them and they know that they're going to be deported and maybe their family's going to be deported, you basically own them. You own them. I just can't even imagine the strong arm. Never a raise. You're probably going to not treat them like you have to treat others. None of the laws really would apply. I mean, just the advantages, right, Ron, you would have over somebody like that.
I mean, I hate to quote Ann Coulter again, but I mean, she said, if you treat an American employee like shit, they'll leave and they'll go work for somebody else. Correct. Or if you don't give them a pay raise, they'll quit and go to work for another company. Right. But with these employees here on these work visas, they can't leave. If they walk away from that job, they're deported. They're sent home.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that's exactly. And MAGA, they get it. But here's the $64,000 question. Where's Trump? Where's Vance? Because as soon as this shit hit the fan yesterday morning, I'm checking Trump constantly, like, when is he going to weigh in? Because usually he'll kick back for like 6 hours or so and wait and see how everything plays out, and then he'll come in. And he didn't do that. He didn't say a word.
So you're right. But Ron, let me ask you, I feel like this had to be a conversation that Elon Musk has had with Donald Trump. It had to have been some sort of agreement. And I'm speculating here, but I believe what happened was Elon and even a guy like a Vivek Ramaswamy, who was probably in the room, talked to Trump about this, and they made a deal, some sort of verbal agreement where I'm going to put so-and-so amount of money into your campaign. We're going to do everything we can to make sure you win. And then if you win, you got to do this for us.
Okay, so this deal was, I agree with you, this deal was made like 6 months ago. And that's why Trump hasn't said anything, okay? And Vance hasn't said anything, because they know this deal's done and they know their people don't like the deal. So I think it was always the plan to wait until right after Christmas. Keep in mind, this happened Christmas night is when they first brought this up. Mm-hmm. And they're thinking when everyone's in that good mood and they're happy and they're with the family and it's slow news time, which it is, like hardly no media has covered this except for CNN's the only one that eventually covered it, but pretty much most media has ignored it. So I think this was always the plan, that we're going to bring this up and we're going to kind of initiate the conversation with the MAGA base. And Musk and Vivek's going to do this, and we're going to try and bring them along. We're just going to say, okay, I know we talked about deporting everybody, 15 million people, and we're going to deport a lot of these people you don't like, these brown people and these black people and stuff. But you know what? We want to bring in more people from Asia if they're really smart. And I think that was like the plan. And I don't think they expected the backlash. And I think that to be as bad. And I think part of the problem is Vivek is just such a terrible salesman and doesn't know how to talk to people. And he's just so abrasive and obnoxious. And I think that he just presented it in completely the wrong way. I think probably if they had somebody better pitch, maybe Stephen Miller, pitch it to these people. But Stephen Miller doesn't agree with this. I can tell you this right now. Right. Stephen Miller already said he doesn't agree with this. So this could be a deal that they made between Trump and Musk and Vivek without including the other advisors like Miller.
Could this be the end of the relationship if it doesn't go the way Elon Musk and Vivek? Because ultimately, Donald Trump is the guy that's going to make the ultimate decision here. Right. If it doesn't work out the way Elon Musk and Vivek want it to, and I'm not sure it will, because a lot of MAGA will turn on a lot of other people if it doesn't go their way. Do you think this could be the beginning of the end of the relationship, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump?
No, I don't think it's the end, but I think it's a big problem. I think it's like the trust has been broken. Like it's like anybody. Look, Musk didn't vote for Trump in 2020. He supported DeSantis in the primary in 2023 against Trump. So I think that they were like, okay, man, you came in, you let us all back on Twitter. You gave us some money, you gave us blue checks, you gave us subscriptions, and you put in $250 million to help our guy win. So, all right, we're in, we like you now, but you're a little bit of a globalist. You got plants in China, you get a lot of money from the government. We're not really thrilled with all that stuff. Yeah. But we're going to, and he's not a Christian. There's a lot of things that they're skeptical of him about. But I think that they put all that to the side. But now that this happened, I think that trust is gone. And I think that they're going to view everything he says now through a different lens, through a skeptical, critical lens. Whereas before they'd give him the benefit of the doubt on everything. I don't think they're going to anymore. So I think it could be the beginning of the unraveling. It won't unravel over this, but this is definitely a chink in the armor.
Agree. Last question, Ron. It's interesting because a lot of these MAGA Republicans on the far right, the Charlie Kirks of the world, will say that college is overrated. We hear them say this over and over and over again. Yet on the other side, you have a Vivek Ramaswamy that's speaking really the obvious, the opposite, really, right? He's saying that Americans are lazy, that they should go to college and get educated. So which is it? You've got one part of the MAGA Republican base that's saying college is overrated. don't go to college. Liberals everywhere, don't do it. And then another part that's saying, well, Americans are lazy and we want to get workers from other countries that are educated. Which is it?
This is their attitude, because I've heard them all talk about this a million times, whether it's Kirk, Tucker Carlson talks about it a lot, Don Jr., Musk has said this, is they view only certain kind of college educations as valuable. Okay. So what they say is, what they believe is, if you're going to college to be a scientist or an engineer or a physician or something like that, an accountant even, that's legit. That's fine. We want people to go to college for that. But if you're going to college for any other purpose, English major, literature, whatever the case may be, law, history, all the humanities, psychology, they think all of that is bullshit, right? And so if you're not going to college to basically to learn how to code or be a brain surgeon, that you're wasting your time and you should be working on cars. I mean, so that's the way they view the world. They view the world as like the super smart elite, oligarchs running everything, and then the super smart worker bees working for them, and then everybody else who's there to serve, and do the menial jobs, shouldn't go to college, shouldn't get an education. You're just there to, paint houses, fix cars, and pick fruit. That's the way they view the world. There's no middle class,
Such a short-sighted way of thinking, and just embarrassing. Ron, before we let you go, tell me what you're working on. What can people look forward to with your articles? I don't know if you're working on something to post later today.
Yeah, doing on my Substack, my recap is a big chunk of it is going to be about this, all the twists and turns, the dramas.
Yep.
Loomer's conversation with me this morning, back and forth, because I follow these guys. So yeah, in my daily recap column, which by the way, we're keeping no paywall until January 15th, and then we're going to have to paywall some of it,
right.
just because it takes me 14 hours a day to do it.
Yeah.
You just can't do it for free forever. But the guys wanted to paywall it right away, but I wanted to keep it open free as long as I possibly could, which is 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be one of the last couple of weeks that you can read it for free.
Well, if you're working 14, I know you're one of the hardest working guys in this industry. You probably deserve to get paid if you're working 14 hours a day. So I would, that's nice of you keeping it open until the 15th. Ron, you're the best, my friend. If I don't talk to you before New Year's, have a great New Year's to you and your family. Appreciate the time as always. And let's get the popcorn ready, because these next couple days are going to be interesting. But,
I've been watching you doing a lot of fighting with the right wingers the last couple of weeks.
Well, I've been
taking on a lot.
I've been fighting the right wingers for years. Yeah, I had Steve Bannon's ex podcaster co-host who challenged me to a fight live on the air. The guy looks like the Crypt Keeper. But that's par for the course. We have fun on this show, and that's probably going to continue to happen.
Not many people do that. So that's
well, good. I'm willing to get into it with people. I did something similar with Larry Elder a few months ago. It didn't go very well for him either. So it happens. Ron,
about his campaign for governor, right?
Yeah, that didn't go very well or his run for president. Didn't go very well for Larry Elder, but I had Vivek Ramaswamy on 7 or 8 months ago, but these guys, after I do one interview with them and it doesn't go their way, they usually don't want to come back. But hey, so be it. I had Tina Peters on too. Ron, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend, my friend, and we'll catch up with you next week. Thanks, Ron.
All right, man. See ya.
Appreciate it. Ron Filipkowski, he's the best. Is that guy the best or what? His coverage of these stories that are so important, he's one of the best, and that's why I love having him on. I always appreciate it when he takes the time. Any of the guys from Midas Touch, Ben's great. Of course, we had Adam Mockler on this week. He's phenomenal at his age to be doing what he's doing. Kid's really talented, so I appreciate him as well. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is the time where we're going to take some phone calls. If you're just joining us, you missed a lot. We had Donald J. Trump on the phone. The first segment, also known as John D. Domenico. He joined us for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the show. We just had Ron Filipkowski joining us. By the way, Donald Trump was attacking Ron Filipkowski on this show. I got to send him that clip. And we're talking about this tech bro visa controversy. Listen, folks, it's pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple. These billionaires want to put a stronghold on immigrants that are here, knowing that if they fire them, they're going to be deported. They want that advantage. Because being a billionaire is not enough for these people. They want to treat people like human crap. That's what this is all about. All right, so the number to call is 702-221-7283 if you want to be a part of the conversation. I want to talk to you about this. I want to get your thoughts on it. Even the MAGA callers. Do you agree with Elon Musk? Do you agree with Vivek Ramaswamy? Do you think Americans are lazy? These tech bro visas, are you okay with this? I'm not. I actually agree with most of MAGA on this. I'm not okay with it. So we're taking your calls there at 702-221-7283 next segment. I would also ask all of you, if you can, to check out my website during the holiday season at pushingthelimits.live. Subscribe to my YouTube page, which is free, at PTL Radio Show. Some of you I know are watching right now on YouTube. I appreciate all of you. Yesterday was fun, by the way, reading some jokes. We're going to do that again next segment. But check out the website. You can buy merchandise up there, pushingthelimits.live, shirts, hats, beanies, you name it, we sell it. And if you don't want to buy merchandise, there's also a donate button right on the front page. Doesn't matter what it is, $5, $10, $20 a month. Take a couple minutes of your time, and we appreciate your support. If you enjoy what we do here, we appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Again, that's pushingthelimits.live. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be taking your calls. What do you think about this tech bro visa controversy where it has MAGA fighting amongst each other? And could this be the end of Elon Musk in the MAGA orbit and the Vivek Ramaswamys of the world? I'm going to ask you that question next. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part? Every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at radioyou101.com.
All right, welcome back. It's Pushing the Limits on a Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Going to be taking some calls here in a moment. Please join us at the official gaming bar of the PTL radio show. Of course, I'm talking about Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones. During Vegas Golden Knights games, they have this Pass the Puck contest. You've probably heard about it on this show, where you could win up to $500 in free slot play just for being active on a machine and hitting a 4 of a kind. Free alcohol. Who doesn't want free alcohol? You get a free bottle of wine if you earn 300 points on a Monday and a Wednesday. Check them out. Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones, the official gaming bar of the PTL radio show. So we're taking some phone calls. We're talking about this tech bro visa controversy. It's another, in my opinion, it's another form of slavery. Okay, I'm not trying to diminish slavery, which was the worst of the worst. But when you hire an employee, and in the back of your mind, you know that if you fire them and they come to this country with their family on a visa, if you fire them, they are going to be deported. To me, it's like they're one of your slaves. You hold a strong arm on them. And I'm not saying every employee would treat them that way, but I think some would. I think we all could agree on that. And I think I will agree with most of the MAGA world on this, probably for different reasons. Many of the people that are attacking Vivek Ramaswamy are most of them are probably bigots and racist, but I disagree with the sense that Americans are just lazy and let's have these visas, these people coming in here and then put a stronghold on. I think it's absurd. I also think it's very funny that the MAGA world is fighting amongst each other. 702-221-7283. We do have one phone line open. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Scott. Scott is first up on PTL. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Brian. It's good to talk to you again, my friend. Hope you had a very enjoyable Christmas.
Yes, I did. Thank you. And I hope you had a great Christmas as well. What do you make of this tech bro visa controversy?
Well, I don't really know much about this tech stuff, but I got to tell you, Brian, the last couple of days I have been dealing with so many almost hilarious people who are trying to prove their points and they just can't seem to do it. And one of the things that I've been seeing a lot are, you're seeing these people that are complaining about how, Elon saved their free speech and they lost their free speech. But then when you look on Twitter, they're using their free speech to complain about how they got their free speech back when their
let me tell you something
in the first place.
So Scott, I agree. Let me tell you something about these morons on the right. Okay. They don't even know what freedom of speech pertains to. For the dopes out there that don't know what they're talking about, and sadly many of them don't, freedom of speech does not pertain to private business. I had the same argument with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on my show months back, where he talks about censorship, and he said, why do you disagree with me on this? I said, because we're talking about private business, okay? If the government says, or the DOJ says, hey, we would advise you to not allow these people to say these things, that's not against the law for them to make a recommendation. And number two, it's a private business. Example, and I know you know this, Scott. I'm speaking to the dumb MAGAs that are listening, okay? If you're on a sidewalk, on a public sidewalk, and you want to hold up a sign that says, I don't know, I hate white people or I hate black people, the government can't get involved and you can't get arrested. Now, it'd be a very stupid and awful thing to do, and there are still consequences for your actions. While you would have freedom of speech, your employer can still fire you, but the government can't get involved. You can't get arrested for holding up a sign in a public place that says you hate a race or a religion. But we're not talking about a public sidewalk. X is not a public sidewalk, okay? Facebook and X are private entities. As much as I can't stand Elon Musk and the cesspool of bigotry and hatred that is X, Elon Musk does own the platform, and he has the right to do what he wants and allow and disallow what he wants. Now, you can still be found financially liable for defamation or inciting violence. Sure, the law still applies, but it's a private business. Freedom of speech does not pertain to private business, and these dopes like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and these morons on the far right don't seem to understand what freedom of speech actually means.
Right. And if I can, Brian, do you want to have a good laugh on this Friday?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Well, there was a guy on X who said, Obama was not born in Hawaii. And I responded back to them and I said, okay, well then show your source that proves that he wasn't.
Right.
So, and what does he do? He gives me a YouTube link to the Hodge twins, who are biased conservative whack jobs.
They're idiots.
And then he tells me that it was Hillary who started the whole controversy that Obama was not born in this country.
Well, listen, these are the same people, my friend, who think that January 6th was an inside job, the earth is flat, and Donald Trump won the 2020 election. They are dopes. They are conspiracy theories with their tinfoil hats. They have no facts to back up any of their conspiracy theory BS opinions, and they're not worth, quite frankly, 2 seconds of my time. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Jack. Jack is next up on PTL. Hey, Jack, what's going on, man?
Hey, Brian. How you making out, man?
Good.
Listen, this is what we talk about with the MAGA, Make America Great Again. when you ask them when was America last great, they struggle with that. They can't really tell you what they really want to say. But I'll tell you, make America great was when slavery was an accepted policy, and this is what they're going with this. They don't want to pay American workers. They want to pay an immigrant $15,000 that they would have to pay somebody else $35,000. Vivek has no use for anybody to pick strawberries, so He doesn't want those immigrants. He wants immigrants that don't have a leg to stand on. And Filipkowski brought up all the things that I was going to say on here, and you brought up a lot of things too. It's indentured servitude. This is what that push is, and it's like you have Vivek brought into, he's the hire 'em, and you got Elon, he's the fire 'em. Like Trump wants him to break up unions. He loved that. He went into Tesla and told everybody just get the hell out. He's going to downsize.
But isn't that what they want, Jack? They want servants. You're right. Ron is right.
Right.
They want servants.
Slavery.
To them, I agree. So to them, I've been saying this all along. Make America great again. Well, when was America great? I think if you truly ask some of these MAGA deplorables when America was great, it's back in the day when you were allowed to own human beings, when women weren't allowed to vote, when black people had to use different water fountains. I really believe that. I'm not saying every Trump supporter thinks that way. I'm saying a lot in his base do. And when it comes to this issue, they're conflicted. Why are they conflicted? Well, they want America to look white, but some of these people that are wealthy want servants as well, no matter what they look like. Let's have somebody
because they think it might affect them. But if you look at what they're doing, Brian, just with the whole overturning of Roe versus Wade, they want to push it back when women didn't have rights. They want to push it back. They do the voting suppression or whatever. They want to push it back when people didn't have voting rights. That's when America was great to these people. Indentured servitude and owning all the means of production. And
how could anybody, Jack, how can anybody in this country that is a decent human being think that it would be okay to hold a strong arm on an immigrant, knowing that if you fire that immigrant on a visa, they are going to be deported? How could anybody in this country think that that is okay? Unless you're a selfish billionaire and you want what's best for your bottom line.
Yeah, first they went after union. I mean, that's like they don't want you to have a union to back you up. They want to be able to tell you to work overtime and not pay you for it. So that wasn't enough, and they showed that they'll do that. And then this is like even more of an overstep where like you said, they don't want you to have one right, and you say you have that hanging over your head that that if you don't do what they say, you're going to be either deported, you're going to be out of a job. But
I'll tell you something. I'm going to make a prediction right now, Jack. And by the way, I appreciate the phone call. Thank you. I'm going to make a prediction. Donald Trump will not cave in. I think he's going to continue to listen to Elon, no matter how much pressure. Elon has put way too much money in, and Elon might have some dirt on Trump, and they probably had some sort of verbal agreement. I do not believe Donald Trump will cave. That's just my personal opinion. We'll have to wait and see how this thing plays out. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. I do find it very interesting that Elon is, blocking, or I shouldn't say blocking, but suspending Laura Loomer's account, taking blue checks away, affecting the algorithms. I don't feel bad for any of these people, but it goes to show you what a petty and insecure man Elon Musk is. And I've been saying that about this guy for years, way before he got involved in politics. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Lewis. Lewis is next up on PTL. Hey, Lewis, what's going on, man?
First I want to say that I've become a big fan of your show. I started watching your videos about sometime around the election.
Mm-hmm.
So
thank you. I appreciate
you're doing a great job. I'm sorry. I'm a little flustered right here because this is the first time I've ever called into something like this.
Take your time. You're doing fine. I appreciate the compliments and thank you for tuning in. So Lewis, what do you think about this tech bro visa controversy? And you know what? When people call in for the first time and they're a little nervous, pretend that you're on a right-wing conservative Las Vegas talk show with two listeners. That's because there's plenty of them out there. Pretend like you're on one of these wannabe Rush Limbaugh radio shows with literally no phone calls and no listeners, and maybe that'll put your. Don't worry that there's thousands of people listening, but I'm just kidding, and I'm being a little serious with my jokes. But anyway, go ahead, Lewis.
No,
I'm sorry.
understandable.
What do you make about this tech bro visa controversy?
Well, I just find it hilarious of what's going on here. So I'm sorry if it's going to sound like a bit of a diatribe, but let's go back like about a few years ago. So remember, the reason why we even have this situation is because of people like Elon Musk making themselves the darlings of the right. They were basically allowed to sing the tunes that these people love to hear.
Right.
They loved the guy's racism. They loved the guy's abject failures of moral character. And they knew that he was, well, despite what they claim about George Soros, the oligarch for their side. But now, and keep in mind that this is also during a time when they claimed that they were being censored on every quote unquote liberal
they're
platform,
in a, correct
including
me,
X.
I agree with everything you said, Lewis. My take here is that many of these people in the MAGA world don't mind it if immigrants are being treated like slaves. The problem that they are in right now is that you have Vivek Ramaswamy and others that are saying Americans are lazy, and then they're worried that the migrants will take their jobs. They don't have a problem with migrants being treated horribly. They have a problem with migrants coming in here and making the country look different. That's the threat that they see. I want to be very clear on that. My position.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I agree with that, but well, you have to turn it around. Well, oh my God, I kind of forgot part of what you said. I'm so sorry.
No,
but I understand the gist of it. So
sure.
The issue isn't that they are offended by what they feel as the American people, because they believe themselves to be the exception to the rule.
Right.
What they're mad about is that one of their own, that guy with
Vivek.
so much power and influence.
Elon as well. Elon as well, but particularly, and by the way, thank you for the call, my man. I appreciate the phone call. Particularly when they go after Vivek, they don't want somebody brown calling them lazy. That's the worst thing you can do to one of these bigot MAGA supporters, right? So they're really angry at Vivek Ramaswamy, and I'm not quite sure Vivek will be able to recover from this. He's already deleted some of his tweets. But with Elon, this was, and Ron Filipkowski said it best, right? This was probably a meeting or a conversation that Elon Musk had with Donald Trump months ago. Hey, I'm going to support you in your campaign. I'm going to put hundreds of millions of dollars into your campaign. But if you win, here's what I want from you. And I'm sure a part of that, and there were other promises, I'm sure, but I'm sure one promise was we're going to allow this to happen. We're going to allow these tech bro visas so that you can take advantage of these migrants coming into this country with their families, and you could pretty much treat them as slaves. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. I know our phone lines are full right now, which they usually are, but keep trying. We'll get to you. Let's go to Mark. Mark is next up on PTL. Hey, Mark, what's going on?
Good afternoon, Brian. Just give me a couple of minutes to get my points out. First of all, I agree with you. Musk is going nowhere. He's in for the long haul. And I do believe they're going to get rid of whatever, Ramaswamy, whatever the hell his name is.
Ramaswamy.
He's going to be tossed.
Ramaswamy, yeah.
He's going to be tossed. But I'm looking at the big picture here. And I was sitting down in my living room. My wife came over to me. She's a sheriff in the Monroe County Courthouse. And she asked me, what are you deep in thought? And I said, you know what? I think that there's a reason why Trump is loading up his administration with all these billionaires. And they're taking over all the different agencies. And when did a billionaire ever help out the average working Joe Schmo? Mm-hmm. Never. Now, I believe that Musk and that other billionaire, Bezos.
Yeah.
Bezos is down in Mar-a-Lago because I believe he's going to be ultimately in charge and take over the Postal Service. That Postal Service is going to be privatized eventually within the next 4 years. Yep. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And I also guarantee that Elon Musk is going to be involved in that because Bezos is in retail, right, Brian?
Yes, correct.
And Musk is in transportation.
Yes.
He likes to. That's my point.
Well,
Musk is going to supply the transportation of all mail, and Bezos is going to be in charge of behind the scenes running.
This is something, Mark. It's an interesting theory, and I don't disagree with you. This is something that so many people in this country don't understand. The Jeff Bezos of the world, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, the Elon Musks of the world are, in my opinion, for the most part, they're all the same. They're in it for themselves. They're in it for their investors. They don't care about the American people. Yes, you can find some donations, some charitable donations and some charities that I'm sure Bezos, has put into it, as well as Zuckerberg. But when it really comes down to it, it doesn't matter what a piece of crap Jeff Bezos thinks, whatever he thinks of Donald Trump, and we know he said it on the record for years. He's going to donate money to Donald Trump so long as, Donald Trump scratch his back, I scratch yours. They're in it for themselves. And that's sadly the way many, not all, but many of these billionaires think. That is how they think. There are some out there that I think are decent, good people. I would say Mark Cuban is one of them. He started up this pharmaceutical company, not to make a profit, but to make affordable drugs for people to save their lives. I mean, find me some stuff that Bezos and Zuckerberg have done, or even an Elon Musk that would come close to that. Let's go to Diane, 702-221-7283. Diane is next. What's up, Diane?
Hey, maybe I'm going way off. I'm looking at the bigger picture than everybody else is seeing. We've got Elon Musk that has all those satellites up in the sky, and we have no control over it, neither does Trump. So he could just flip a switch and turn us all off if he wanted to. That's why I do not see Trump doing anything that would make him upset, because I live in Florida and I see a rocket going off every other day.
Right.
And I don't mean to scare people, but he could literally rule the world one day. And he's even building a compound in Texas. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
Yeah, I am aware of that. But I understand what you're saying. But in the short time frame that we're talking about here, the fact that Donald Trump hasn't even responded on Truth Social. I mean, this is a guy, if somebody says anything about him, he usually responds almost immediately. He hasn't responded to this Tech Bro Visa controversy, which leads me to believe that he's on the side of Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. And I don't think he's going to go against Elon in any way, shape, or form. That's my personal opinion. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm not worried about a missile strike or turning us all off. What I am worried about is what's going on right now, which is billionaires making policy decisions that are only in for their own personal self-interest, and Donald Trump making it 4 years of retribution while he's on the golf course every day, not making policy that will help the country. Middle-class Americans and those that are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, are going to suffer. His billionaire friends and those who hang out at Mar-a-Lago, the white elitists, are the ones that are going to benefit, the Elon Musks of the world. And America is going to suffer. And in 2 years from now, maybe even less than that, we will all be saying, we told you so. And they still won't admit that they were wrong. And when I say they, it's the morons who voted for this guy, Cheeto Jesus.
I agree with you 100% there. Yeah. But I guess we'll all see what's going to happen.
We will.
Hopefully that won't happen. And also he could just shut down, anybody's website. And he's already done it with Laura Loomer.
Yeah.
He basically took her, the conservative.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing with Laura Loomer, my dear. And by the way, I appreciate your call. Here's the thing, right? She thinks that Donald Trump can walk on water, right? I'd like to see him walk on a scale, but that's another story for another show. But if Donald Trump takes the side of Elon Musk, you will not see Laura Loomer criticizing Donald Trump. There are certain people in society, some of whom are extremely stupid people, that are not willing to criticize Trump for anything. They'll blame George Soros and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But now, even before Donald Trump takes office, they're saying the economy is so great because people know that Donald Trump is going to be back in office. They are some of the dumbest people that America has to offer, and they're frauds. There are people on Fox News, like the lush Judge Jeanine and many others that are making statements like this. Oh, well, the economy is so great now because everybody know the stocks are through the roof and your 401ks are great because they all know that Donald Trump is going to be in office. Hey, dopes, it's been like that for months. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Vivian. Vivian is next. Hi, Vivian. What's going on? Hi, Vivian. Go ahead. All right, I think we lost Vivian. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Ed. Ed is next up on PTL. Hey, Ed.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's on your mind?
Hey, all of this drama with Musk and Vivek, I can't pronounce his last name, saved my life.
Ramaswamy. Let's just call him Vivek Swampy. Let's just call him that. That's fine.
Well, let's call him Swampy. All this controversy, number one, serves Donald Trump because as soon as there's controversy, the focus is not on what Trump is doing or not doing. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I'm an old programmer. 40 years ago, I was writing C, and the guy next to me was saying, oh, yeah, and he was talking about an Indian guy. I don't remember his name, but he was the guy who was driving all of the satellite traffic.
Yeah.
And we asked him about, people from his country coming here and taking programming jobs. And he says, oh, Ed, you hardly have to worry about it because all of the smart ones are already here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like, Vivek Swampy saying that Americans are lazy, first of all, stop gaslighting Americans. Americans are not lazy. They want to work. They want to do something good for, their fellow man in society.
Right.
I can't stand people that take that.
No, I'm
take
with
that
you.
tack.
I'm with you, and I can't stand people that say that as well. We have somebody on social media that gave a good nickname for Vivek. Vivek Ramaswamy. I like that one. I think that's a good one. Vivek Ramaswamy. I might have to use that one. 702-221-7283. Thank you for the call, sir. All right, let's get back to the phones. Listen, it is enjoyable, before I get back to the phones, it is enjoyable to hear the MAGAs infighting with one another. I want to keep in mind, for some of you that voted for Donald Trump, this infighting about this tech bro visa controversy would not be happening if Kamala Harris was elected as president of the United States. For you dopes out there, you don't want migrants coming in here, taking jobs and working for billionaires. You don't want MAGAs out there that are close to Donald Trump calling you lazy. Then maybe you shouldn't have voted for the 34 count felon, liable, sexual abusing con man, Cheeto Jesus. Then this wouldn't be happening right now. You dopes. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Charlene. Charlene is next up on PTL. What's going on, Charlene?
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that I really admire you and I listen to you, and it's fantastic to hear everybody's viewpoint, and everybody's viewpoint is exactly what it is. It's perfect because that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately,
but
unfortunately, Charlene, and thank you, by the way, for the compliment. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, Charlene, if you have an opinion that Elon Musk might not like, supposedly the champion of freedom of speech, but if you say something that he doesn't like and you have a large platform like a Laura Loomer, he will demonetize you or do everything he can to do so. He will suspend your account and he will take your blue check mark away, because in the end, they always complain about liberal snowflakes. Let me tell you something. The biggest snowflakes in the world are those on the far right, like Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
I agree. I totally agree. It's just kind of like, I think what it's going to have to happen, because I don't even know if the other side will ever see the truth. Like he's 34 felon. Come on. I mean, how good is he going to do? And do you think those billionaires, they don't give a rat's ass about us?
They forget.
No
And they forget when they say, look at the economy, like the idiots like Tim Pool, who is an utter buffoon. By the way, I want to do a show with Tim Pool, and we'll both take our hats off, and we'll see who has the better bald head. I'm willing to do that with Tim Pool. But anyway, Tim Pools of the world and those out there, they talk about how the economy was great under Trump, and they seem to forget we were all locked up in our rooms, nobody was working, and the country was on fire in a bad way, and we were shut down under Donald Trump. And when he left office, we were losing 3,000 to 5,000 people a day from COVID. Trump took over a wonderful economy that Obama left him, and he ruined it. And if people want to make an excuse and say, well, it was COVID, how about what happened under George W. Bush? The ill-advised war in Iraq is nobody's fault but George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. What happened there? Why is it that Democrats need to always pick up the pieces and leave the economy like Bill Clinton did in a surplus, and then Donald Trump gets us twice as in debt as Joe Biden did? Let me repeat that. Donald Trump in 4 years got us twice as in debt. Nothing to do with COVID. I'm talking pre-COVID. Twice as in debt as Joe Biden did. But they want to talk about fiscal responsibility when Nikki Haley, sometimes I agree with her, she said it best, it's the Republicans that seem to put us in debt year after year, not the Democrats, nowhere near as much as the Democrats. But, you know, they want to talk about fiscal responsibility, and they want to talk about drag queens, and they want to talk about women, trans women in women's bathrooms. They want to talk about issues that the average everyday American does not care about. But if you notice, they don't talk about health care. They refuse to concepts of a plan. They don't want to talk about gun violence. We could have Sandy Hook was a perfect example. You got 20 plus kids that were massacred, and Obama tried to do everything he could to put more laws on the books, and Republicans vote against it. If you're going to shoot a bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds and they all die, and Republicans refuse to do anything about it and continue to brag about their A+ rating from the NRA, then there is no hope when MAGA Republicans are put in office. No hope.
You're right. You know, one of the things that I was looking at is like, you know, the Democrats are not perfect, and you know that. Okay? Mm-hmm. They did some crazy moves. And I think what they could have done is just they could have handled the freaking border without the Republicans. I wish they had just clamped it down.
Yeah, but if not for Donald,
that's it.
But if not for Donald Trump,
we would have won. We would have won.
I agree with you, my dear, but the problem is it wasn't even necessarily Republicans and Democrats. It was Donald Trump and maybe some Republicans like Mike Johnson without a spine. But I agree with you, your sentiment. I agree with what you're saying. But the reason why that border bill didn't pass, make no mistake about it, was the orange orangutan who's going to be back in office. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. I believe we have Julie who's next up on PTL. By the way, where are all my MAGAs out there? It's interesting because the MAGAs out there, all the infighting, it's just like the January 6th. I was on a conservative radio station for the January 6th, the day after, and it's interesting. The MAGAs didn't want to call in. They would flood the phone calls when I was doing a show at another station, but on January 6th, they didn't want to call in. Where are all the MAGA callers today? I'm wondering what happened to your hero, Vivek Ramaswamy? What happened to Elon Musk? What happened? Where are you? Why is your Cheeto Jesus leader silent? Why is he not tweeting on Truth Social? Where are you today, MAGA morons? 702-221-7283. Let's go to Julie. Julie is next on PTL. What's up, Julie?
Hey, Brian. You're calling them out. Hopefully, probably her might come and make you happy by going after you. But
yeah.
The whole thing with Elon Musk and everything, the only thing I really support with the whole visa work thing is hopefully companies will welcome in some Moroccans. I have a Moroccan friend who's been trying to get over here for 4 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So you can imagine my frustration when
Sure.
it's hard for me to give him a work visa.
Yeah, of course. You know, listen, I want to be very fair about this. There are people that have migrants that, you know, work for them and their visas, And there are a lot of people out there that treat them with respect and decency. But I know that Elon Musk is not one of those people. I know that Vivek Ramaswamy is not one of those people. They want to hold these people in a strong arm position so that when they ask for a raise, Elon can come back to them and say, I'm going to fire you if you ask for another raise. I'm going to fire you.
And that's awful. And it's really freaking dumb. Because they want to come here and have a better life. That's all they want.
I agree. But if you speak to these MAGA Republicans, my dear, or like a Donald Trump who says these Mexicans, they're rapists and they're bad people, and I suppose some of them are good people. Let me be very clear. I think we should have a new law put forth in this country. I think Joe Biden should put this into law right now. If you wake up in the morning and you're a liable sexual abuser and you put on your 8 layers of orange makeup looking like the clown that you are with your 4 hair transplants and your fake teeth, and you're a 34-count felon, you should be deported. Deport him, put him in a cave in Afghanistan for all I care, and let him hang out with the Taliban, because I know those are his friends, because he released 5,000 of them, if you recall, and he invited them to Camp David. Have Donald Trump, deport Donald Trump, and send him to the Taliban. Him and his entire family, as far as I'm concerned. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to David. David is next on PTL. What's up, David?
Hey, Brian. I enjoy your show. I just found it recently.
Thank you.
Yep. So I live in Southern California, and obviously we know California is a Democratic state. And where I live, I could drive 10 miles north, and I can see the farmlands where they pick, lettuce and strawberries and stuff like that. There's no way an American is going to be down there making $10 or $12 an hour picking up produce and stuff like that for people that need it. They only want to hire. They don't want the immigrants to do it. That's why they should be allowed into the country. Like I said, if they are rapists and stuff like that, obviously not.
Right.
But I don't know any white people who will go down there for $10, $12, $15 an hour.
They won't.
And pick groceries.
You're absolutely correct. And I'm going to tell you something, and I know you'll agree. They're not going to deport 20 million people. It's a scare tactic. But if they did, which they won't, it would destroy our economy. Any economist that is not biased would say if you deport 20 million people, it will destroy our economy. They are speaking to the base of the party. They are using it as scare tactics. It's very similar when they talk about this. It's just like the cats and the dog eating nonsense, the BS, the lies from J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. It's the same thing. They are lies. They are full of scare tactics. It's the Make America White Again lies that they put up. And it seems to be, why is it always the white MAGA supporters, right, that are talking about eating the cats and the dogs? Why is it always the white MAGA supporters that are demeaning immigrants? I do find that very interesting. But, my MAGA friends out there will say, oh, you're race baiting, Brian. Oh, really? Am I? Look at the attacks on Vivek Ramaswamy over the last 24 hours compared to the attacks to Elon Musk. They have said the exact same things. Why is it that they're all attacking Vivek Ramaswamy? I think it might have something to do with Vivek's skin. That's what I think.
No, I agree. I mean, I live with, obviously, I have a family here, and I have a son who is a complete MAGA supporter. My wife and everyone else in the house are Democrats, and he is just doesn't understand it. And we try to explain to him, and I always tell him, I'm like, this is what MAGA stands for. It's white, young, uneducated Americans.
That's Donald Trump's base.
Stands for.
That's Donald Trump's base. You just described it right there, my friend, and I agree with you, and I appreciate the call. Riot Town, thank you for the donation, has a nickname for Vivek. The nickname is Vivek Ramaswampass. That's a good one. I could live with that one. That's a good one. Thank you for that one. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Since we are close to the holidays, we're also asking for some jokes I'll read on the air in the super chat. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Paul. Paul is next up on PTL. Hey, Paul, what's going on, man?
Hey, buddy. I think a lot of the frustration comes from United States being an oligarch. I'll give you a quick example. Walmart, their CEO makes just north of $17 million a year, which is disgusting. The average Walmart employee makes $30,000 a year. They employ 1.6 million employees, the largest employer in the country. The CEO makes 597 times the average salary of an employee. 15,000 of those Walmart employees are on SNAP benefits. Over 10,000 is on Medicaid. When they get hired, they're told how to apply for some of these social programs. That's the problem with America capitalism right there.
Isn't that disgusting?
It's disgusting. And there's no incentive for those people to do it. Look at Nancy Pelosi. Her net worth is $114 million. That's disgusting.
I'm not a Nancy Pelosi fan. I never have been. I've been very clear on that. Yeah.
But Mitch McConnell, $34 million.
Yep.
I mean, and it goes on and on,
Sure.
millions and millions. And these people are taking money from all these big corporations. So I guess what I'm asking at some point, once we get past the holidays, I would like to know, how do we, or if we even can at this point, can we?
Can I ask you something to what you're talking about? I want to ask you a question, Paul, and you made a lot of good points. What do you think about the Democrat Party passing over AOC for the position that she wanted to be in on the committee? And all due respect to the gentleman who's there now, who has cancer, he's old, he's sick. All due respect to him, they passed over AOC. I thought that was a really big mistake that the party made.
It's disgusting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
AOC, listen, in most countries, AOC is middle of the road.
Right. I agree.
Only in the United States is she considered far left. She was a bartender. She's not much different than oh God, who's the independent from Rhode Island? Bernie
Sanders. Yep. Vermont. Yep.
She is what most people relate to.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi needs to be put into a museum, lock the cage, and throw away the
Let me
key.
tell you something. If I had to name one person that is, and thank you for the call, Paul. Have a great weekend. If I had to name one person who is, there's a lot of reasons why Kamala Harris lost, right? A lot of reasons. But if I had to name one person that is more responsible than anybody for the loss, I'd put it on Nancy Pelosi. This is what she wanted. 702-221-7283. We have a donation and a joke from Nutcracker that I would like to share with all of you, if that's okay. How do you scare a child? Tell them that a monster is in the closet. How do you scare a conservative? Tell them that their child is in the closet. That's actually a really funny joke. I would also say there's a lot of truth to that joke, Nutcracker. It's very funny, and there's a lot of truth to that. That's a good one, and it's true. The best jokes are the ones that are partially true. And that's like 100% true. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Janelle. Janelle is next up on PTL. What's up, Janelle?
Hey there. I was going to come on and make comment about Elon, but the whole thing about AOC getting passed over just really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
It's got Nancy Pelosi's paws all over it. And AOC is the only Democrat right now who's resonating with voters.
She is, but let me ask you this: do you think she should run for president in 2028?
I think it might be too soon.
Agree. I agree. I think vice president.
I think if she would have gotten onto this committee, like the second ranking member, I think that would be a possibility.
I got one for you.
I think that.
I got one for you. Josh Shapiro running for president. AOC as his VP. What do you think about that?
That could work. Mm-hmm. Actually, that could work.
I mean, I'll even go Gavin Newsom. I mean, there's a few names out there but I'm more of a Josh Shapiro guy, not because he has a great last name, but I'm more of a Josh Shapiro. But I think AOC would be great on a ticket as a VP. She would help get the female vote. And listen, I met her. And I don't always agree with her on stuff, right? But I have a lot of respect for her.
Yeah.
I wish she would call out certain members of the school. I know that she's friends with the Ilhan Omars and Rashida Tlaib, so I think are not good people. But I'm not going to blame her for that. Okay, I'm not going to. I wish she would speak out a little bit more on that. That's my biggest criticism, AOC. But I have a lot of respect for her. And I met her for the first time before the election. She came out here to Vegas, and we had a nice conversation. And she said, I think I said this story on the air. She said, I know you. And I said, well, what do you mean? I had no idea. Like, she probably thought I was somebody else. And she said, I love your videos on X. I watch your clips. I'm like, oh my God, that was really cool that she liked my stuff.
Well, that's a ringing endorsement from her.
That was very, very nice of her. And that meant a lot to me. And then we spoke for a couple minutes, and I told her I admired what she does. And And, I will say this should have no bearing on the conversation, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I think she's a very intelligent, but she's strikingly beautiful too. And don't get me wrong, in this day and age, that helps. It doesn't hurt. That's all I'm saying.
It does.
Yeah.
And she's got she's got charisma. And I'll tell you this, because she has shown a lot of growth in the last probably 4 years, because she was very much associated with the squad.
Right.
And people are seeing her in a different light now. So I'm seeing the growth there. 2028 is a possibility, but I think it would be too soon.
I like Crockett also. I think she's another rising star within the Democrat Party. I think she's extremely intelligent, outspoken, will debate anybody.
I like her.
I have a lot of respect for her. I like, what's his name? Dan Golden. I think he's very good as well. I like Swalwell. There are good young Democrats in the party. Can we get these older people like the Nancy Pelosi's and the Chuck Schumers to get the hell out of the way and retire?
They got to go.
Yes, retire.
They got to cut the umbilical cord.
Thank you.
They got to cut the umbilical cord.
I agree. Thank you for the call, my dear. 702-221. Get Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. All due respect to those that have been in office for decades. Yes, I'm throwing Joe Biden in there, but we need younger people in office. I just named you a few of them. And maybe looks don't really count, because look at who's going to be our next president in a couple weeks. Orange Turd, the orangutan himself, the obese orange clown. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Steve. Steve is next on PTL. What's up, Steve?
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Steve.
I called you once before, and I was so nervous, I just blurted out a comment.
Oh, don't be nervous.
I really like your show.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I have, the hypocrisy is amazing, because when John Kerry ran, he was told that he was so rich he couldn't understand how everyday people live.
Yeah.
And now you got a guy who sits on a gold toilet.
Yep.
And all these other billionaires that are going to be in his cabinet, and they're worshiping them.
But we have to give some credit to Melania Trump, because that was her big initiative when she got into the White House with Donnie, is that she wanted to make sure she wasn't sitting on the same toilets that Michelle Obama was sitting on. What a wonderful lady. I mean, what an imbecile. As horrible of a person she is, she can't even stand her husband. So, her contractual husband.
And she also wore that coat that she didn't care.
Well, I'm telling you, the day Donald Trump passes away, she'll probably wear the same coat. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong on that.
Hopefully to his funeral.
I don't care. Do you? No, you know what? I'm going to buy that jacket, and I'm going to wear that the day Donald Trump passes away. 702. Thank you for the call, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you. 702-221-7283. Before we get to the next caller, I tell you, Nutcracker keeps throwing these jokes, and I got to keep reading them because he's funny. Okay, he's funny. Maybe not as funny as John DiDomenico, but he's funny. There's actually a mathematical formula to describe all the Republicans lining up to pretend like the January 6th attack didn't happen. It's called the big Nazi sequence. Well, that's a brutal one. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Thank you, Nutcracker. If you want to be a part of the program, anybody else with some jokes, I'll take them. All right, who are we going to next? Let's go to Al. Al is next up on PTL. What's up, Al?
Hey, how you doing, Bernie? I thought I'd help you out here. Don't have a strong opinion on this topic, but I do want to, before I forget really quickly, I want to hear the whole interview yesterday with the pastor. I missed the beginning of the show. Where can I see that real quick?
Come on, you know better than that. YouTube. You don't subscribe to my YouTube?
Okay. Fine. Yeah, because sometimes I look and all the dates aren't there. I don't want to. Okay,
YouTube.
so I don't have a strong opinion, but I'm going to go on something.
Wait, hold on. Al, can I just interrupt you real quickly? Because it's a good ringing endorsement to what. So I put up clips, and we usually put up full interviews on YouTube, but here's the best part. I'm on live on YouTube every single day. So when the show is over, you go to my YouTube page, which is at PTL Radio Show, and you go to the live section, and you'll see the entire show unedited. So you have that option as well. I just wanted to point that out to people. That's all.
Okay. No, that's fantastic, because I do want to. I got in late, and I wanted to go. I really would like you to see a pastor, because I'm Republican, but there's MAGA 1, MAGA 2. MAGA 1 is Ronald Reagan.
I got you. Al, I want to get your opinion on this Tech Bro Visa controversy.
Okay, really quick. Okay, I think that you had Amy Tarkanian call in, and I think that you both agree that there's hypocrisy on both sides. Okay, and that's one of the good things about your show, that you can point that out. And I think, and a lot of people say this, the Republicans want immigration because they want the free labor, and the Democrats want the immigrants because they want the vote. What do you think of that?
let me start off first with what you said about hypocrisy. I'm sure you could come up with anecdotal evidence at times of Democrats proving that they are hypocrites. But let me be very clear on this one. The overwhelming majority of the hypocrisy today is coming from the right. They claim they care about your kids, but when it comes to a Matt Gaetz damning report about having alleged sex with an underage girl, they don't want the report to be public. They claim they care about the safety of your kids, but after every mass shooting, not only do they not have solutions, they say thoughts and prayers, and they say more guns make us safer. They claim they care about your health care and mental wellness, but yet they support a man for 9 years, has no plan for a health care replacement to Obamacare. So I would say the hypocrisy and the overwhelming majority of the hypocrisy and the conspiracy theories are not coming from the left. They're coming from the right. So,
well, my answer, there's a lot of truth to that. You know, as a Republican who grew up in the inner cities and then went and lived in the suburbs right out of high school, went to college, lived in the suburbs of Orange County, Newport Beach.
Well, they would say college is overrated. Far right would say college is overrated.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I wouldn't go with that, but I think it worked for me. You know, and now that I'm back here in Las Vegas, because I'm going to tell you something. Irvine may be the safest city in the country, or one of the, but it's also the most boring. And it's very easy to be safe when you're almost the most boring city. So that's why I moved out here. And there's a lot of inner city stuff going on here. And what I'm seeing is that we have a lot of Democrats in our state legislature and in our local government here, and they're not, and the education here really sucks. I mean, it's really bad. I don't want to use that kind of wording.
Well,
so I think I don't think the Democrats are doing any better taking care of our kids' education.
Okay. Well, last I checked, our governor happens to be a Republican, and his name is Mr. Lombardo. And last I checked, there are also wacky Republicans that are on the school board, Republicans that think children are being indoctrinated, and there's critical race theory. There are a few women that I know that have been elected to the school board here that I've talked about on this show that are crazy lunatics. There are a lot of blame.
They're elected. They haven't got it. You know, I know those two girls.
They're crazy.
They're probably listening.
Yeah, they're crazy.
But let's see what they haven't gotten. Let's see what they do. They get in. But I really do believe there's a lot of misappropriation of funds.
There's a lot of misappropriation of funds, not just when it comes to education, but when it comes to almost every issue in this country.
You got it 100%. And I think, and that's why I think this show's great, where both sides can call out the hypocrisy on both sides. I'll totally agree with you that, you know, we need better. You know, I supported the where they check metal detectors for guns, and then maybe drones for the windows, and I think that can help. You know, we're using a lot of drones.
Well, Republicans aren't going to do anything. MAGA Republicans aren't going to do anything when it comes to gun control. And I would also say that metal detectors, while I would have no problem with them, it's not going to stop the October 1 shooting, and it's not going to stop these shootings in all these other places like malls and anything outdoors. The things that will really help, Al, in lowering gun violence in this country are comprehensive background checks, which MAGA Republicans will not do, even though 80% of the country agrees with it. When it comes to gun violence, an assault weapons ban with MAGA Republicans will not do. Anything that the NRA doesn't want, Republicans will not do, because the NRA is in the back pocket of these coward MAGA Republicans who care more about their Christmas photo and giving their 5-year-olds an AR-15 to hold on, like the Lauren Boebert Beetlejuice morons of the world, than actually doing things to help secure and safety of the American people, period. Let's go to Jake. Jake is next up on PTL. What's up, Jake?
Ryan, how you doing, sir? First time caller to your show. How you doing?
Thank you, Jake. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York City. I just want to say I discovered your show during probably the summertime and towards the election. I want to say thank you for all your great coverage and work you've been doing. I just want to say it's a lot of hard work to put up with a lot of people who have a lot of opinions, a lot of dumb opinions. So
that's true.
I want to give you credit.
That's true. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you saying that. That's very kind of you. What do you think about this tech bro visa controversy?
I think Vivek Ramaswamy is just a very lazy guy and a very bored guy who just needs to do anything to get attention at this point. I just think that's really what it's all about. And maybe trying to, one up on Musk to get to Trump. I mean, it seems like it's just a battle between two rich bros who just want The only thing I didn't understand was his was it about Screech and the television shows? That was a little bizarre when I read a little bit about that. But I actually had a separate thing I wanted to point out to you, if you don't mind me asking.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
So you follow sports, correct? I look at the Vegas Golden Knights stuff. You do sports coverage too?
I played 2 sports in college, and absolutely, I'm a big sports fan. Before I get to your question, I have to tell everybody I'm going to watch a little Texas A&M and USC. I'm going to the bowl game tonight. Man, I've had a fun week of sports. I'm sorry, you got me on the sports topic now because it's so nice to get away from politics for a few moments. We got going to a Silver Knights hockey game tomorrow with a friend of mine, and then checking out a UNLV Fresno State game. This is a great sports town. Now, the Raiders are just an embarrassment of a franchise. They're terrible. They're awful. I'm not going to say anything nice about. Listen, I'm a friend of Mark Davis's. I text him now and then. He's a very nice man. He would admit that the record is unacceptable. It's terrible, but he does a good job with the Aces. We're getting the Oakland A's. Talk about a terrible organization. I hope they turn it around here. I cannot believe the NBA is not here yet, but anyway, I know I went on a little bit of a sports tangent there, but I'm a big sports fan. I'm looking forward to the bowl game today, and then I'm going to go watch a little AHL hockey tomorrow and then go to a college basketball game. So I have a weekend filled of sports, and I love sports, and it's a great escape from what I have to do on the air every day talking politics. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, Brian, I hate to say my question is involved with politics a little bit.
That's okay. So that's okay.
Yeah, you mentioned about being Mark Davis being a nice guy. So unfortunately, I'm a New York Jets fan, which is even worse to say every day. Of course, it's been a failure of a franchise. But the problem I have is that our owner Woody Johnson. You're familiar with Woody Johnson, is correct?
Unfortunately, I am. Yes.
Yes. So obviously, with Woody Johnson being that he's worked for Trump, it's kind of causing a problem for me as a fan because I would be in a lot of Jet fans in these different podcast groups and everything. And unfortunately, I've been noticing a lot of them are all Trump supporters. There are people that on their show many times who are Trump supporters.
Yep.
And I have openly said on these chats, I voted for Kamala Harris. I stand for what I believe in. And I get ridiculed. I get ridiculed left and right. And for some reason, this fan base continues to praise anything the Jets do. Yeah. But at the same time, they don't understand that Woody Johnson is a lunatic and he will do anything to grift like Donald Trump does. So it puts me kind of on the outside of thinking, how comfortable am I even really having discussion with other fans in these groups when I'm unfortunately an outsider to them, or I'm the lower end of
a perfect example of Woody. By the way, who names your son Woody? But another perfect example with the Jets is Aaron Rodgers, who even on both sides, most people will call him a douchebag. He's anti-vaccine. He is extremely condescending to his teammates, to his coaching staff. He's been responsible for firings, and he has been awful this year, too. He's been awful with the Jets, and they're not making postseason play. So with that being said, there are a lot of people with a lot of money, and it seems like it's usually the middle-aged white guys that are the Donald Trump supporters that are in powerful positions. As I've said all along to the people that have voted for Donald Trump, so many of them, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't like you. He doesn't want to be around you. The people that Donald Trump surrounds himself with are the people that hang out at Mar-a-Lago every day. Middle-aged white elitists, 65, 70-year-old men with their 20-year-old girlfriends. Those are the people that Donald Trump hangs around. And quite frankly, it's incredible to me that so many on the right don't seem to understand that.
No, and actually, one of my offices is around the corner from Trump Tower, so I know exactly.
And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Then you would know that better than anybody. Hey, my friend, I'm up against a break. I got to take a quick break. I really appreciate your call. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. So we're heading into our last segment. Wow, we're almost in 2025. Can you believe it? Just to give you a quick schedule of what we're planning on doing, I'm only taking one day off next week. That will be Wednesday because I don't want to show up to work with a massive hangover. And there will be some adult beverages involved. I already have some plans with several friends of mine. So, yeah, but we will be on the air Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, just taking one day off next week, similar to this week. And we'll have some very special guests for you lined up. But we have a special guest coming up next. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, she's made multiple appearances on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Are you kidding me? Yes, she's been on Dr. Phil's show as well. She's a former pastor now turned life coach and OnlyFans model. The very beautiful Nicole Mitchell is going to give us the gift of positive stories heading into the weekend, as she always does. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Nicole right after this. Before I do that, I want to say check out my new website, which is pushingthelimits.live. Again, that website is pushingthelimits.live. You can subscribe to my YouTube page for free. By the way, I've had more viewers today just on my YouTube page alone. I've averaged over 1,000 than Alex Jones had today. Don't ask me why, but I clicked on his show. He had like 700 people watching live. So that's all. Eat it, Alex Jones. But check out my website, pushingthelimits.live. You can buy merchandise on there, shirts, hats, beanies, you name it, we sell it. And of course, you can make a donation. There's a donate button right on the front page. Pushingthelimits.live. Help support what we do here. It's an independently run show. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, the very beautiful and talented Nicole Mitchell will be joining us. We'll be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits on KSHB.
Of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part? Every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at radioyou101.com.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Greenview Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits, wrapping up a good week of shows. I got to be honest with you. I'll pat myself on the back. It's been a good week. Recovering from the Donald Trump re-election. Appreciate all of you for joining us. Please join me at Jackson's Bar and Grill. I'm there all the time, Flamingo and Jones. Jackson's Bar and Grill, where during Vegas Golden Knights hockey games, you have a chance to win up to $500 in free slot play with the Pass the Puck contest, free bottle of wine every Monday and Wednesday when you earn 300 points, and a chance to win $50 in free slot play on Sundays. Great food, great atmosphere, great people. Check them out. I get text messages from people every day saying, hey, we checked out Jackson's Bar and Grill. We love it. We're going back. Check them out at Flamingo and Jones. The lovely lady joining us right now on the show. Of course, she is a former pastor, now turned life coach and OnlyFans model, a very successful OnlyFans model, to give us some good news of the week. Of course, I'm talking about Nicole Mitchell, who joins us right now on the show. Nicole, it's great to see you. How are you?
I'm so good. Happy holidays. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm in a good mood. We got the holidays right around the corner, and it's great to see you. And I love these positive stories. So I'll be honest, I'm not a big Dave Portnoy fan from Barstool Sports. I don't always agree with him, but he's a very successful guy. He donates a lot of money to charity. He's very opinionated, and I do have a lot of respect for him. But this is a great story because, as you know, Nicole, he is a pizza connoisseur. For years, he goes into these pizza joints and he rates their pizza, and it's actually pretty good and pretty entertaining. But now he's getting involved in saving a local pizza business in Baltimore. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so we all know when you have a small business, it can be hard to stay afloat. And with everything that's gone on, politics and COVID and just everything, it can be hard. And Portnoy found out about this small business that was going to have to close shop if they didn't make a certain amount of money by the end of December. He went in and asked them like, how much money do you need? And they said, we need $60,000 to last for the next year. And he said, consider it done. He wrote an article. He gave their pizza a 7.9, which I actually have respect for, Brian, because I would assumed he would have done like, it's a 9.5, but he like legit was like, it's a 7.9. And he sent out this rating. He told his following about it, and there was a line out the door. And this man said, in all my years of business, I've never experienced anything like this. And I'm pretty sure his business is going to be saved.
That's a real good feel good story. And Dave did the right thing. And for hardworking people that are in the restaurant business, I mean, I have an aunt who ran a restaurant for a while, and it's a very brutal, difficult business.
Yes.
So
And you know
that's
what I like about this story about Dave, because Dave is a very polarizing figure. And I just like highlighting stories when people you may not necessarily agree are like doing good things, because it just is a good reminder we're all multifaceted. So even someone who vehemently disagrees with me or disagrees with you, Brian, or disagrees with
right.
Dave, it doesn't disqualify the fact that we also do good in the world. And so I just
Sure.
love that reminder.
Agree. So I kudos to Mr. Portnoy for helping out this local pizzeria business. If I lived anywhere near Baltimore, I would certainly go as well. Great East Coast pizza places, by the way. I mean, I struggle sometimes to get a good slice here in Las Vegas, but a lot of good family-owned restaurants out there back east. All right, so this is an interesting story. A fisherman hooked a woman that was caught in a riptide, and it saved her life. This is
Oh my gosh.
Tell me about this. This is wild.
This is crazy. So I guess
Yeah.
at this part of this beach, it's actually not recommended to swim because the tide is so strong there. This is at 1 a.m. So who knows what happened, but there happened to be a fisherman who happened to notice a woman caught out there, and all he had is what he had, which is fishing rod with a hook the size of his pinky, which is quite a big hook. And he just kept throwing at her, trying to literally hook her. And she is so lucky that she was rescued, but B, it hooked onto her pants, and he
Wow.
was able to successfully reel her in and save her life.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, I would never make an inappropriate joke, but one could argue that when you mentioned pinky, you could also say it was the size of Donald Trump's genitalia, but I would never say that. And you use the term hooker, and I would never talk about Melania Trump like that. That would be very inappropriate. So I would never do that. All right, so there's this new revolutionary infertility treatment used by robots to clear a pathway for clogged tubes, and robots are involved in this. Tell me about this.
Ryan, when I read this article, I'm like, maybe we will invent someday to live forever. So they developed this miniature like robotic thing that goes inside the fallopian tubes, which is where I guess blockages can happen, causing infertility issues. And they put it in there, and it will slowly move down the direction it needs to go, and it clears out the blockage in the way. So right now
Wow.
they've only done it like not in an actual fallopian tube, but in models in the shape of fallopian tubes. Their goal is to like slowly move in the direction. But like, just think you could put something in so miniature that it clears out your blockages, prevents any major invasive surgery, and you are healed or better as a result of it.
Wow. I mean, with
Crazy.
technology, I mean, I could use some of that for my clogged heart arteries with
That's
the
literally what I'm thinking, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm like, what if that's how we move forward with like heart surgeries? If you have
When you look at
blockage.
my diet, Nicole, and what I eat every day, I got sick from a McRib last week.
You mean
When
salads and green beans and
I
broccoli?
do like salads. I'm not as much of a big green bean fan. I don't eat a lot of. I do like salad though a lot.
Okay.
That's the thing. I really like healthy food. I just normally don't eat it. But if this is a way that they could help clog out those arteries, that would save a lot of lives. But this is really cool technology, right? You never know. So I'm a big fan of seals. I went to San Francisco last year, and I went down there to the harbor, and I just love watching them. They're incredible to watch. But this is a cool story because we've learned that there's the return now of these fur seals after 100 California islands after 150 years. Tell me about this.
So they almost went extinct in the early 1900s. They'd been so overhunted for their blubber. And finally, there was laws put in place to protect these seals. And now here we are 150 years later. And it's the first time since then they've seen, I can't remember, it was 150 seal babies in this area in the wild. It's the most they've ever seen, and just evidence that their conservation efforts worked. And that if we can just leave wildlife alone to a degree, they can come back in new numbers. And so we're just celebrating that they aren't extinct and they seem to be doing really well this year.
I got to go out there and check out these these fur creatures. That would be a lot of fun. Wow, I mean, in the last few minutes here, we could basically be describing Donald Trump's personal life. Sorry, I'm going back to Trump. I must have Trump derangement syndrome. You've mentioned the word blubber. That would be one way to describe Donald Trump's physique. You mentioned the size of a pinky. The size of a pinky. I'll let all of you out there figure out what I'm talking about there. And then you said hooker, and boy, that's what a terrible way to describe Melania Trump. I would never say that. But anyway, what do you got going on New Year's Eve, since we won't be talking to you until 2025? What do you got going on?
Crazy. We are actually hosting a New Year's Eve party in our new house, which I'm super excited. And I love hosting parties. I love getting together with friends. So we'll be having a party here. Where are you going for New Year's Eve?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I'm kind of doing like a double date type thing. A friend of mine who's the lead singer of a band here in town is taking her boyfriend. I'm bringing a lovely lady. We're going to do like a double date action, and we're going to be hanging out on the strip. We already got the tickets. We got a five course meal dinner, open bar for like 4 hours. I got to be honest with you. I have to share this with everybody. So I don't drink that much. Anybody that knows me knows I don't drink that much. So I went out with this couple like 3 weeks ago, and they enjoy an adult beverage. So I had like a shot of Patron that led to another, I had 6 shots of Patron, wasn't working the next day, and I wasn't even buzzed. Does that mean I have a high tolerance for alcohol? Because I got to be honest with you, when I've done some other things legally, by the way, like I got messed up, like the edibles. Oh my God. It screwed me up big time. I can't do those anymore, but I don't even drink that much. And I did all these shots of Patron, and they're buzzed. And I'm like, they're looking at me like, wow, you're not even phased. I'm like, I don't know, man. Do I have a high tolerance? I hate beer, but Patron doesn't even give me a buzz.
Maybe
I don't know.
your liver is blocked and you need those robots to go in and clear it out so you can feel the effects.
That could be very, very possible. You might be right on that. But yeah, we got like an open bar, and we're going to go to the top of this restaurant, and we have private viewing of the fireworks, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time with good company. So I certainly am looking forward to it. And I'm also
happy for you.
I'm also looking forward to taking you to the AVN Expo. That's also going to be quite a lot of fun. Maybe even more fun for me. I don't know, but we're going to have a good time and check it out. Yes, and you've never gone to it before.
I've never gone. So you're going to pop my cherry, Brian, and I'm really excited. So
I'm going to leave that one alone. But I will say that there is a possibility at some point in the next month that we could be having Jenna Jameson join us on the show. So to kind of promote the awards and
if this happens, I need to be in studio, Brian. So you need to keep me posted.
Well, you know what? Some of these people
on Instagram.
It's so interesting. Some of these people that I've interviewed, I don't even talk to them about the adult entertainment. I talk to them like about politics and all this other stuff. Evan Stone is a personal friend of mine. I think you met Evan.
I did meet
him.
him.
He's like one of the most famous male porn stars of all time. And he ran for office here, and he's a really smart guy. And we talk about the issues. So I love getting into deep conversations with them. So look forward to you coming to town. We'll of course have you in studio to co-host with me for a show, and looking forward to that. Hope you have a great holiday for you and your family, Nicole, and we will catch up to you next week as always, Nicole.
Yes,
thank
see
you
you
so much.
in 2025.
Yes, look forward to it, Nicole. Bye-bye. Have a great holiday. And I said this the other day. I said it yesterday, and I say it again today. I am so humbled and honored that I'm able to do this for a living every day, and the growth of this show. I'm almost at a loss of words. I went to the NBA games that were in town a few weeks ago. I took pictures with a dozen people that say, I watch you on YouTube. I'm a fan of your show. And I'm like, I'm very humbled. Same thing happened when I went to the Kamala Harris rallies. And the growth of the show continues thanks to people like you that are listening to the show. The best thing you can do for me is spread the word. Tell your friends about the show. Subscribe to YouTube. Give me thumbs up. Give me comments. Be interactive on YouTube at PTL Radio Show. That's the best thing you can do for me. Of course, check out my website, pushingthelimits.live, where you can buy merchandise on there and support what we do, and make a donation if you can afford to. Obviously, I'm not Donald Trump, and I'm not going to be selling you $60 Bibles and I'm not going to swindle cash from the MAGA world like Donald Trump has. I'm not fighting voter integrity either, but I appreciate all your support in advance. I want everybody out there to be safe. I want everybody out there to have a great holiday weekend. Especially, fans of the show, listeners of mine. I want you guys to enjoy yourself. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes on the weekends for me, usually is the case, even though we're still posting things on YouTube. And sometimes I'm still putting out videos and I'm doing podcasts, doing things you enjoy, getting your mind off things. For me, it's sports usually and live music. Find something that makes you happy, man. Find something that makes you happy. PX Studios just said on YouTube, Brian's Bibles, $9.99. No, I will not be selling Bibles for $9.99. In fact, I will not be selling Bibles at all. That's not my thing. I'll sell beanies and hats, but I'm not going to sell Bibles, and they won't be made in China for $3 either. I'm happy to say that all of our materials that we sell are not made in China. They're made in the United States of America. So everybody out there, please be safe. Have a great weekend. Check out my website, pushingthelimits.live. I will also tell you I am starting today going to be far more active on TikTok. I have not done a good job on TikTok. It's my fault. I have a team now that is helping me on social media. And even though I do have 30,000 followers on TikTok, or I think just short of 30,000, we are also going to be posting videos on TikTok every day. We're going to continue to be posting segments and videos on YouTube every day. Please subscribe to my YouTube page if you haven't already done so. It's at PTL Radio Show. Love you guys. Appreciate all of you. Please join me again on Monday. We want to keep that average up on people that are watching it, particularly live on YouTube and the Occupy Democrats Network and the Washington Press Network and TikTok and Twitch and X. We'll be back at it live on the air Monday. Same time, same place. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Yo.
Who would have thought there'd be